Hi guys, Jay Smith here. Welcome to the AskGolfNut channel, and today we're going to be talking about custom fitting and how you can get custom fit using the Mizuno Swing Optimiser. Now, the normal Swing Optimiser, what you had from years ago, was the manual version with the display at the front, and of course modern day stuff has changed. So we've now got Bluetooth, and we're going to go over to the PC in a sec to show how the Bluetooth connects to it and how the information goes across, because the whole idea of this is not going to be an in-depth view of custom fitting as in a case of this should be the gold standard. This is a basic standard of what everyone really should be going through when it comes to their custom fitting. Now, when I used to be custom fitting and coaching full time, I didn't just use the Swing Optimiser for Mizuno fittings, regardless of what brand I was fitting for. I always used the Optimiser because this Optimiser, brilliant as it is, it allows really across platform, across all manufacturers, a really good, quick, comprehensive understanding of what shaft you need and why for every kind of golfer, for every kind of manufacturer. So I'm not quite sure Mizuno liked it or not, but I used to use this for every manufacturer and it was brilliant. This should all be open for every client, every custom fitter, every golfer to come in and see every step of this whole process. So there should be never anything that's done behind closed doors. I'm not a great fan of monitors out the way so people can't see. I had screens everywhere, and every single thing that I did was then copied on another screen. So regardless of where I was and what the golfer was doing, anything that I was doing could be seen by the golfer from any different angle. So let's go to the PC now, show how this connects, and then we'll do a quick mock custom fitting to show exactly how this thing works and how it selects the shaft for you. Now the PC just gives me the opportunity to sit down and go through the tool itself and also how it connects onto the iPad. Now, of course, the fitter will be doing this in the background, so you won't have to worry about it, but it's always good because obviously there's going to be fitters and also clients that are going to be watching this for your custom fitting. And so, yeah, open and access to everything. So Mizuno PFS first, you click on that and it basically asks you to pair your device. Now you press the button on the side of the Optimiser and that will basically say, hello, I'm here, I'm ready to work. You say yes to proceed to pairing. It says enable pairing mode by doing what I've just basically done and say next. It will now hunt for it, have a little handshake and say hello. Now I might have to blur out the numbers that it shows on there for obviously privacy and GDPR and all these little things that we have, but effectively it has now connected. So you now get to a point to say finish, and you are now at the front screen that you will see as in the golfer. Generally speaking, you won't see this little bit because hopefully this might have been done beforehand. So what we then do, we have the opportunity to put your player's name. We're just going to put test in there and then start fitting. And as you can see, we've got iron fitting, hybrid fitting, wedge fitting, ball fitting and wood fitting. You have the option now with the shaft optimizer that captures so many different parameters that you can do these types of fittings, all these fittings within one. Now, even though we're going to be doing the iron fitting, it does actually capture information. It will show you, or it did in the old software, we'll see as we go along. Ball as well, so it will be good to see what ball it selects for me. Right, let's go to iron fitting, the fun bit, and then what we're going to do now, we're going to go back over to the hitting area. We're going to hit a few shots and then show how this works and more importantly, how it selects what shaft is for you. Right, so now back at the hitting area, what we're going to do is capture some information on the Swing Analyser. But first of all, what you must make sure you are is fully warmed up. Do not go into your session from a custom fitting point of view with the fitter saying, okay, just warm up, hit some of your shots with your golf club, you know your golf club, etc. But stop you before you get fully warmed up, because you've now captured information about your own golf club, which isn't actually right. It's less than what you normally do, and that's a trick within the custom fitting industry, because remember, unfortunately, custom fitting is a sales, and it shouldn't be. It should be down to the product should sell itself. It should be nothing down to the fact that how an individual can influence your buying decisions. So you have to be aware. Make sure you're fully warmed up. So I'm just going to hit a few shots to start with, speed through it so you won't have to look at it, and then we'll come to the Optimiser when I'm fully warmed up. Let's see what we are off the bat. .87.5 miles an hour, that's not too bad. So got a few more shots to go, warm up, and we'll get to the Optimiser. Right, warmed up enough. Just saw on there 90.6. That is enough for me. Right, so let's get to the Optimiser now. Get the iPad recording, and so you can see every single thing that I'm doing. Okay, Optimiser on, and also iPad recording, so you can see everything. So first of all, it is now connected. You can see steady blue flashing light, and we say begin shaft optimizer. Now, this is where you need to be doing not what I'm doing. Basically hold it nice and steady. This calibrates, and because there's a gyroscope and stuff and bits and pieces of wonder in here, it needs to be held fairly steady. Once you've held it fairly steady, it's calibrated. As soon as it goes solid blue, you're ready to go. Right, what I would say before you hit this grip that you normally get with these, there is a red line. That red line is a standard line. That means standard length, but it has got an extra ½ inch for the big people. But yeah, I always say grip it at the red line. There is no grip past that line. Right, so let's go give it a hit and see what I get. Not the greatest of strikes, but okay. 92 miles an hour on quad, 91.9. As you can see, it registers 89, 6246 and 42. There's 2 extra boxes now on the information, and I'll go through at the end. I won't go through every single thing, every single shot. We'll grab that information right at the end. So you press again, ready to go for the next one. This is all the fitters doing this. You're holding this, keep it nice and steady. Steady blue, green on the screen, ready to go. Slightly heavy, that's why it's slightly turny, fractionally. Didn't get all the dots on the screen, but 90, 72, 5732. And you can, if you wish, if you hit a particularly bad shot and you don't like it. Now, generally speaking, this is a shaft or swing analyzer, it's not a strike analyzer. So as long as you've done a half okay job of delivering the golf club and you haven't hit a mile before the golf ball or even just missed it, it will be fine. But just in case, you can redo the shot. There's a little box down the bottom left, press it, redo the shot. It will say preparing sensor, keep it nice and steady. It's flashing blue, red, solid blue, ready to go again. And then you can give it another hit. So we'll keep this one as the actual. Not bad. 93.2 miles an hour on quad. I'm fully warmed up. 89, 63, 56, 43 on the iPad. And so you're happy with that. Next one, 3 shots is all you need. Keep it nice and steady. It's calibrating solid red and solid blue, green on the screen. And then we just do it again. One last one. Slight face open. It's fine, but slight face open. That's Bluetoothed across now, 93.2 miles an hour, 89, 725542 on the screen. I think you see I'll stick the information up on the screen for everyone to see, nice and open and transparent. Let's go to the PC now, show what all these numbers mean. And there are a lot of numbers. You don't need to know all of them. So I always say when I custom fit, I can tell you as much or as little information as you want me to tell. I can give you the ins and outs of a duck's backside if you want, or you can just say, Jay, I don't want to know, just tell me which golf club fits me, and then we'll go with that. So let's go to the PC and then start critiquing the difference between all these numbers and what they actually mean. Let's go take a look how the 3 swings, or technically it was 4, but the second one, I think it was, we redone to show that you can retake a shot if you wish. So the 3 recorded swings, how it looks at the bending the shaft, how you offend the shaft, at what speed, etc., to determine what kind of shaft you require or what bend profile you require. So once you've got all the 3 swings, it will give you a choice going between JPX and Mizuno Pro. Doesn't really matter, let's just go JPX. And let's just go select anything. I'm just doing it for fun, but you know, or you will have an idea of what you would like to test. You'd have this conversation with your fitter, and your fitter would say, oh no, actually I really think you should go this way, or I really think you can go that way. You can have the honest conversation, and then depending on what the suggestion is and how, if you agree or not, then you can obviously go whichever way you want. But let's go JPX 923 Forge for a bit of fun. And then you normally have the choice between a speed fit and a performance fit. Generally speaking, never bother with a speed fit because it will just miss out loads of things. Let's just go performance fit, and that will get you into the important shaft side of things, as you can see. So as a general rule, you can see the stars underneath. I would say this. I have had clients in the past, and quite a few of them, that had been adversely affected, or they've adversely reacted to shafts less than 4.5 stars. Anything between 5 and 4.5, you can move around, have different characteristics of a shaft. Yes, gain a little bit of this, lose a bit of that, and it doesn't automatically just blow their heads off. I would say, as a general rule, and this is my opinion, I'm not saying I'm right, but I'm just saying it's been right for me, that as soon as you move, or I've moved anything past 4.5 stars, it then starts getting a little bit away from their bend profile and they start spraying it everywhere. But for me, with the information that I delivered, it's on the top there, you can see 89 miles an hour is my head speed. Okay, if you look at quads, yes, I was a little bit faster than that. Why is it slower? Well, quad is measuring at the point of touch before any outside object, be it the ball or the floor, has reduced the speed of that head. So it's the optimal speed you're hitting the golf ball with. Obviously, when it comes to the swing analyzer, it's a swing analyzer, not a strike analyzer, but it uses strike to determine the point of which obviously impact has happened, the vibration, and so therefore it will measure from either side of that to give an understanding of how you're using that shaft throughout the impact zone. Obviously, you've got ball and floor influencing the speed of that club head, and of course that is the average of all that, so that's why it shows. But yeah, don't get too bothered by it, it's just there. 6.33 tempo, that's a measure between 1 and 9. All of these are between 1 and 9, and that's a measure of how fast you are, how aggressive you are in transition. 1 is super slow, and 9 would be, well, 1 would be like Ernie Els, very, very easy, and 9 would be like Zorro. Doesn't matter what you are. If you are a 1 or a 9 or any number in between, it's you, and it's not a problem whatsoever. It's just that head speed and tempo are the biggest denominators in what you would see as flex, and more so weight. And so therefore, if you were to keep the same head speed and then move around your tempo, your requirements will definitely change on shaft because of that tempo change, no different. If you have the same tempo and then move your club head speed, it would also have a similar change of shaft bend profile and weight. Toe down, that's a measure of how much the shaft is bending downwards. Droop, what you say, for the lie angle drooping down, the toe drooping down. Kick angle 4.67, that is how much the shaft bends 90 degrees to that, how much is kicking forward, like adding loft, kind of kick angle, that kind of idea. Release factor between 1 and 9. Again, where you're getting rid of your angles. Are you releasing them early? Are you releasing them late? Anywhere about 5 is about normal, it's fine. 1 is super, super hold off, as in the case of I've never seen a 1. And then 9 is that casting, as in the case you get rid of the angles really, really early. I've seen plenty of 9s, never seen a 1. And then you've got the new ones, shaft lean and attack angle. Now these are all measured 1 and 9, 5 is in the middle. And so through the 1 million swings now that the Swing DNA tool has captured, it is determined that the shaft lean, number 5, the middle number, is actually 9 degrees of shaft lean. That is how much the shaft is leaning coming into impact. And then 5 on the attack angle would be 7 degrees down. Let's just go dollar taper X, it doesn't matter, they're both 5-star shafts, and this is where you test anyway. You test and test different combinations and stuff, heads and shafts, to make sure you get the right one for you. You can go to length, and of course I don't necessarily worry about length too much. We are talking about the difference between a 6'5" person and a 4'2". Okay, you won't get 4'2", but you kind of get the understanding. And so therefore really we're looking at how biomechanically the individual is made up. Are they 6'5", but they've got really, really long limbs, and so, or like long arms, they don't necessarily need long golf clubs. You have to marry the golf club biomechanically with the individual. Just because you're tall, just because you're short, doesn't mean you need long or short golf clubs. Right, but I'll just go standard. And then I've just literally put up on there just to show you. This says, because it's got a gyroscope, it says that I am 0.5 of a degree flat. Out of all, so the new update, obviously we've got the shaft lean and attack angle. I've got my slight issue with attack angle, but it's measured from a different point, so I haven't really. This is the only issue that I do have with the shaft analyzer, and I've had this since day one, since the new Optimiser came out with the gyroscope. It does measure your lie angle. Now, I know, because of measuring through quad, what my lie is, my dynamic lie. And it is depending on what manufacturer you are, because again, what is standard. But in a Mizuno, I'm 2 degrees up. Give or take, within half a degree, maybe 1.5 degrees, 2 degrees, I'm within that. It measures me always at 0.5 flat. Now, I know I'm 2 degrees more upright than this. And with all of the testing that I'd done, especially when I was doing it full-time, custom fitting and coaching full-time, would be that this is a correlative thing. It goes through, doesn't matter who it is, there is always, within a few exceptions, the swing analyzer always measures lie angle slightly flatter than what the individual physically is through measuring it through quad. I will always absolutely defer to quad because it's measured rather than swing analyzer. This is a guide, yes it is, but this is the only thing that I would not necessarily spend a lot of time looking at this and saying, oh, right on, I'd want to get it measured. And don't measure on a strike board or anything else like that. It's within reason. It's done properly. It's got to be done via head measuring technology. So, but then I've put it at 1.5 because that's me. And then kind of grips. If you look at grips, no different to shafts, Mizuno offer a huge array, and so do many manufacturers, offer a huge array of stock non-upchargeable shafts and grips. Mizuno possibly are the most prolific of options around all the premium manufacturers, and as you can see, there are literally loads, of which then you can have all in different sizes should you wish. You kind of get the idea. You choose what you want because that's what you like the feel of. Generally speaking, I would always say, look, if you play in the rain, then a multi-compound will work really, really well for you. If you play in the rain, then a rubber won't, as in a standard normal Tour Velvet. The problem is, with Tour Velvet, obviously it doesn't like water too much. But that all goes out the window if you ask the person, well, do you use a rain glove? And if they use a rain glove, well then Tour Velvets work brilliantly in the rain, so because of the glove. So you have to have conversations, but it doesn't matter. Just select anything, it doesn't matter. I am actually Tour Velvet Plus 4s, I quite like them, and I normally have sort of like an extra little bit of wrap of tape on there, but that's about it. Continue to set makeup. If you have a look at part of the way down the screen, it says recommendations are based on threshold loft of 20.9 degrees. What does threshold loft means? It basically means that the swing DNA tool has analysed how you deliver the shaft with the speed that you deliver, etc., and would therefore say on a perfect world, in a perfect strike and all that lot, that because of your speed and how you deliver the shaft, your loft, your optimal loft that you should have, no less is 20.9 degrees for me. This basically what I used to call in old school days the point of diminishing returns, as in a case of you can go to your 5-iron, then your 4-iron, then your 3-iron, but you're finding because of your speed, you then don't get that extra carry that you normally would do or normally would see in your 9, 8 and 7, so you kind of get bunching. And yes, they will go longer. Your 3-iron will go longer than your 4-iron, and your 4-iron will go longer than your 5-iron, but it's making it up in bounce and roll rather than the standardized carry number. And so at that point, you do have to look at your flight, your efficiency of control, descent angle, etc., and say, look, do I need to move up to a next stage? Now, it's saying I could do a 4-iron to gap wedge in the JPX 923 forged. I know for a fact that I would not be using the 4-iron. Why? I can make a 4-iron functional for me. I like to see a ball go into a green at 45 degrees. That possibly might be a bit overkill, but I want the maximum amount of control I possibly can do. So I go from a 5-iron into a 4 hybrid, and you can change that as well. You can get rid of the 4 if you want. There you go, just got rid of the 4. And then if you want to change your hybrids and stuff like that, what you can do is you can go into your hybrid side of things there, and then you can select Mizuno Pro Fly High if you want to go into a direct long iron replacement. If you want a slightly draw biased hybrid, then go to your STX. So if you want a bit more of a neutral biased hybrid, you go STZ, wherever you are in the world, and then click on that, performance fit, and it will do its little thing when it comes to shafts, etc. Again, don't get too things about which I'm not going to go into too much detail, but you select whichever one works for you when it comes to fitting, etc. So I'll just go with that anyway, just for fun, just to go through it. And then no different to grips, you add either a slightly different grip or the same grip as what you'd have on the rest of it. And so there, you can say, I want to go for a 3 and a 4 hybrid. You can see by, and of course, the hybrids are adjustable when it comes to their loft sleeve, especially the Z. I'm not sure of the X. The X might be a glued adapter, so there's no adjustment on it, but the Z definitely is Z. And so you can move the lofts if you need to. But there you go. You can see there you go 3, 4, 5, 6. And if I go to the full summary, you can see there that it's saying that I'm going to have the 3 and the 4 and the hybrid, and then 5 to all the way gap wedge if you wish. And of course, it does do the wedges as well. So it does give you the opportunity, should you wish, to go add some wedges onto there if you need some extra wedges, or actually just gives you the option at the start to be able to do a full wedge fitting. But within reason, you can use the Swing DNA tool for your whole entire bag. It even shows there on the ball recommendation, it says that an RB Tour X should be the ball that's for me at my speed and how I hit the golf ball, my angle attacks and stuff like that. It's recommended the RB Tour X. Now, okay, ball very quickly. As a general rule, yes, you are going to gain if you go to a higher compression golf ball. This is regardless of speed. Dump the idea in your heads. I've been trying to bang on this about this for years, and thankfully people like my Golf Spy that have got a bigger reach out there for certain people are basically now saying the same thing, that compression, highest compression, it will suit everybody. There's no, go back to the days where it's, you don't swing enough to actually fully compress that golf ball. It's utter rubbish. At the end of the day, regardless of what your swing speed is, the high compression is going to work. Now, I will say this, I never do that. I actually use an RB Tour. Why? Because I prefer the feel of a slightly softer ball than I do the X. So I always fit a golf ball from the green backwards. Yes, you are going to gain a few extra yards if you go to a higher compression golf ball. You will. But that's useless if you lose the feel. You'll lose the ability for touch around the greens with your putting, your chipping, and your pitching if you go to a ball which you don't like the feel of. And so the testing that I've done over years is just so it just shows how important touch and feel is, the gauging of distance, especially for putting, chipping, and pitching. And so always make sure you fit your golf balls from the green backwards. But it's not a bad direction to go. Of course, the ball recommendation is based on trying to give you the most it possibly can do, the most gains as possible. And on that point alone, it is doing well. So again, there is so much more you can do on this. I will go through more. I might do a compilation or a playlist, doing the woods, doing the wedges, doing the hybrids, doing the ball individually, and possibly put it on my YouTube channel. But I wanted to give you guys an understanding of what you need to do when it comes to custom fitting, what you should be looking at, what you should have access to. All this information is available for you guys to see when you're doing your custom fittings, and then also from the custom fitters out there. I would try and make sure that you are as open and honest and transparent with this information as best as possible. Yes, custom fitting for a lot of places, unfortunately, is a selling game. I was never a fan of that, and commission for me was always one of those things I hated, because at the end of the day, I wanted to make sure that with a paid for session, I could then absolutely make sure that I was unbiased completely in whatever the person wanted or they didn't, or they did need or they didn't. And so therefore, by making sure you're nice and warmed up when you hit your own golf club to see how well your current golf club works, then test it up against all the custom fit options that you can have to see if there's a physical, tangible benefit you going to a new golf club. Obviously, if I'm being paid via the session in past, I can be absolutely unbiased and be open that fact. That's why I'm not a great fan of the old sales idea of custom fitting, because this product effectively should sell itself. So, but there you go. That's an understanding of how you can use the Swing DNA tool. Cross-platform, doesn't matter what manufacturer. You can use it for Mizuno, absolutely, Titliest, Ping, Taylormade, Callaway. It doesn't matter, whatever manufacturer. As long as you keep an eye on the head weights, etc., you will always be able to do a good job using this tool, because it is blooming good. So, hope you liked the video. If you did, thumbs up. Go on YouTube, like so do I. Down there is a subscribe button. It's free and it's great for the channel if you could subscribe, so thank you. Next to that is a bell icon. It's a notification bell, and if you click that one, that will notify you next time I upload another video. So I hope you're well, and we'll see you again soon.